delayed checks for Social Security, including retirement, disability, SSDI, survivors, spousal, SSI, and VA beneficiaries. I have all the details and exactly what you need to know right here in the video. Let's get right into it. I know in this video, I do want to spend a few minutes talking about delayed checks for all the fixed income beneficiaries I mentioned at the beginning of the video. Is this something you need to be concerned about over the coming days and the next couple weeks? Well, that is a really good question and what I want to focus on here in the video, because some of you here in the community have been reaching out down below in the comment section asking this exact question. Well, that's what we're talking about here in the video. Let's get into it and talk through all the details. Really fast before we do, thanks for joining me. If you have not done so yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button right down below the video. It is totally free to do so, and I'm here for you right by your side every single day, watching the latest details hitting the wire and breaking it down into these short videos. It is a very busy time, and as you probably heard me talk about hundreds of times before in all the videos, 2024 is all about you, the low income and fixed income beneficiary. The busy time right now with everything going on, and a lot of things are changing. So again, do yourself a huge favor, hit that subscribe button down below, totally free to do so, and feel free to share this video or any others here on the channel with your friends, family, and social media with the share button right down below next to the subscribe button. And again, thank you so much for being here. I truly do appreciate literally every single one of you here in this community. We've got to stick together right now, and again, I will continue to be here for you every single day and advocate on your behalf in any way that I possibly can. All right, thank you so much. Let's get into it and talk about delayed checks. Is this something you need to be concerned about, and what is going on, and why would you even think that checks would be delayed for the fixed income beneficiaries we talk about here on the channel in almost every single video? Now again, this is a major concern because just think about it. If your checks were delayed by a day, 2 days, 3 days, a week and a half, 2 weeks, a month, something like that, would that impact your lifestyle? Yes, in a major way. I mean, seriously, even 1 day of delay to your check is a huge deal. In fact, I've seen comments down below in the comment section. I mean, I can't even tell you how many, hundreds of comments over the last couple years here from those of you here in the community reaching out saying, I have $1.23. I have 73 cents left on my check. I have $2.16. Again, the list goes on and on. I see so many comments like this. In fact, I just saw a comment the other day. I have 77 cents left in my account from my check. I need money now. Well, yeah, that is the case for virtually everybody right now, which is exactly why we have record credit card debt in this country right now, well over $1 trillion of credit card debt, because the same situation applies whether it's somebody who's living on a fixed income or an earned income. It literally doesn't matter. Nobody has any money anymore. That's why everybody is floating balances on credit cards, is because nobody has any money and they're going to sources where they can find money, right? Credit. So again, this is a major situation. And again, I know, don't get me wrong, for the low income and fixed income, it has been a really tough time now for the last couple of years here. And these checks that everybody's getting are continuously falling behind time and time again because inflation keeps going up and the checks are basically just sitting there at the exact same levels that they have been, right? They're not keeping up with real inflation. But again, that's a whole other discussion. We've talked about that many times before. And again, I don't want to go off on a rant right now, even though I'm very tempted to, because you know how I feel about this, right? It's a very tough situation. And again, they keep stiffing us every single year and we're totally sick of it. But again, let's stay on track here, or let me take that back. Let me stay on track here. Sorry, it's not you. It's all me getting distracted here. I apologize. But let me talk about delayed checks here, okay? Now, let me discuss the details of this because this is something that I've seen down below in the comment section. Some of you here in the community reaching out saying, are we going to be seeing delayed checks here? All right, so let me explain what's going on. So remember, back on October 1st, they were supposed to pass, when I say they, by the way, I'm talking about lawmakers, okay? They were supposed to pass the 2024 fiscal budget for the federal government, right? For the fiscal year 2024. They didn't do it, right? Then they pushed it out all the way until November 17th. They missed that deadline as well, and they pushed it out again all the way until January 19th for some portions of it and February 2nd for other portions. Well, guess what? January 19th is not that far away, right? I know it's a few days still, but seriously, it's going fast, and it's only a matter of time until we get there. And do you think they're going to get anything done between now and then? Well, who knows what they're going to do, but I'm just simply saying, based on their history, we know that they milk it out until the very last minute to do anything like this, right? So when it comes down to it, okay, are we going to see delayed checks for anybody receiving a fixed income benefit, okay? I know this is a major concern and why I want to focus on here in this video. The simple answer is no. You're not going to see any delay to your checks, okay? Now, again, any anytime that we see situations like this, even like in early 2023, when we saw the situation with the debt ceiling thing, I can't tell you how many hundreds of comments I got during that time from many people here in the community who were very, very concerned because you heard it from many people out there saying checks are going to be delayed, checks will be stopping, all kinds of stuff like this. No, they won't. There's a law in place. They must continue to pay you regardless of what happens. Whether we default on the debt here in this country, guess what? They need to continue paying you. If lawmakers do not come together on a budget for the federal government for the new fiscal year, they have to continue paying you. There's a law in place that says they must continue to pay beneficiaries until the trust fund is depleted. Literally, they have to do that, okay? Well, guess what? There's about $2.7 trillion in the trust fund. It's not going anywhere anytime soon, okay? It would take years for them to deplete all that money with no money coming back into it through Social Security payroll taxes. It would still take years to deplete $2.7 trillion. They're paying out a little over $100 billion a month in benefits, okay? That's about, well, however long that is, almost 3 years is what it would take for them to deplete that with no money coming in. My point is, please don't worry about it, okay? That's the moral of this story, okay? Now, again, I know a lot of times it can be very concerning seeing these headlines out there like, oh, lawmakers didn't do their work again. Let's just say this much. Huge shock, right? They didn't do anything. Wow. we're so surprised yet again, right? No, we're not surprised. We know this happens all the time. But again, when it comes down to your monthly benefit, if you're relying on your monthly benefit for your only source of income, it can be very scary to see these headlines like this and anybody coming out talking about this like, oh, checks are going to be delayed, checks are going to be stopping, checks are ending, stuff like this. Nope. And I'm here to say, no, they're not. Please do not worry about it. I'm here for you in any way that I can be. But again, this has nothing within my control. I can't do anything about this, but I do understand the program and I do understand the laws in place. And the laws say they must continue to pay you no matter what, regardless of what Congress is doing, regardless of what lawmakers are doing, whether they are or not. Does that make sense? I don't know. Sorry, I'm not an English major. I hope that makes sense. Whether they are passing legislation or not for the current fiscal year, they still have to pay you, okay? Even in the event of a government default, as in we completely go broke and we cannot pay our debts anymore, like what we saw in early 2023, again, they must pay you, okay? Moral of the story is, please do not worry about it. There are so many other things going on right now that we need to focus our attention on. Worrying about your checks being delayed or stopping is not one of them, okay? Please do not lose any sleep over this. You got my word on this, okay? But again, I just want to say this much. This has nothing to do with my control, okay? I have nothing to do with this. I cannot influence these payments going out whatsoever. I'm just simply saying, Social Security has been around for almost 90 years. They've never in the history of this program missed a payment, ever. So why would now be the time? It's not going to be, okay? Now, if we were sitting in a different situation, whereas the trust fund was completely 100% depleted and we were dealing with a major financial issue, well, then I would say, well, maybe considering the trust fund is empty and the law states they must continue to pay until the trust fund is basically depleted, well, then it'd be a totally different story. But that is not the story we're dealing with right now. Trust fund has a lot of money in it. 2.7 trillion roughly as of right now, okay? It's a lot of money. It's going to take a very long time to draw that down if that were the case, okay? So as we approach January 19th, and as we get closer and closer to that, and we see all these lawmakers kicking and screaming and whining and crying and all this stuff about, coming together on the new fiscal bill and all the kinds of stuff like this, the federal spending and oh my, and all this stuff like this that they always talk about, just look through all the noise, okay? It's not going to impact your check, okay? Even if you see high-profile people coming out saying, well, this is going to impact your check because that side doesn't want to do this. Nope, not happening, okay? Not going to impact your check whatsoever. I can tell you that much, okay? So I hope that helps you. And again, for those of you here in the community that have been concerned about this and worrying like, oh my, it's going to impact my check again, and I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to put food on the table. Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. It's not going to impact your check, okay? Please don't worry about it, okay? And remember, January also includes the higher COLA or your little 3.2% raise, okay? The reason I say little is because we know that inflation from 2023 until now, it's been a lot more than just 3.2%. We know this. We're not fools like they're treating us like we are, right? We know way better than to think inflation only went up 3.2%. I mean, are you kidding me? Look at anything out there at the grocery store. Food prices alone are up well more than 3.2%, right? In fact, I brought you a study I don't know, what was it, a couple weeks ago, I had a chart out and I was showing you the different increases in price. There was a whole bunch of different things on there. Even included on the price chart there was a beef roast. I mean, seriously, beef roast made the list. I'm not kidding on this. You can go back and check the video. It was like, I don't know, maybe a week or two ago, or maybe 2 weeks, yeah, something like that ago, and I had the chart right on there. Beef roast was up 12.4%, I think. Just in 2023, that's nuts. That's way more than 3.2%. In fact, that's about triple 3.2%. No, sorry, that's quadruple. That's quadruple the 3.2%. Wow, that's nuts, right? Just on a good old beef roast. I'm just saying, okay? Real stuff that's going on right now. So this 3.2% COLA is honestly kind of a joke, and we know that, right? It's well below where it really needs to be. So anyway, long story short here is, yep, COLA happens now, okay? So when you get your January payment, some of you already have by now, okay? But when you get this payment, yes, this is something that, will include your 3.2% COLA, as well as, do not worry, as we approach January 19th, and we see all the lawmakers doing, trying to scramble to get this together, this 2024 fiscal year budget for the federal government. It's not going to impact your check, no matter what happens. Delay or not, as in, like, if they do not pass it or if they push it out again, it's not going to impact your check. If we go into a government shutdown, I do not anticipate that happening. If that happens, it's not going to impact your check. Whatever happens is not going to impact your check. Is that going to make sense? Anyway, hope this helps you. Again, I know it's a tough time right now. It's frustrating, but this is just kind of what we're dealing with, and there's not a whole lot we can do about it. We can just sit back on the sidelines and observe the game playing out, right? It's a pathetic one, but that's what's happening here, and we're the spectators of it. So I hope this helps you. Again, I'm here for you in any way that I possibly can be. Again, as always, please subscribe down below if you haven't done so yet. Totally free to do so. Share the video with your friends on my social media. Go back and check out any other thousands of videos here on the channel, including those that I have linked down below in the description or at the top of the comment section. And that's about it. Leave your comments, questions, feedback down below, and enjoy your day. Take care, and catch you again later.